Welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D collective. Let's continue with our channeled guidance messages for our full moon. So, authenticity, and if you're new, 5D frequency is about being yourself, so you have no insecure parts. If you have any insecure, disowned parts, you go to therapy first. You get all of your inner child reparented, and then once you're reparented completely, soothed, safe, secure, you come here. Or that's when you're going to match the frequency of what I'm talking about. So until that moment, those who don't navigate their wholeness, they don't feel good when full moon comes up, or new moon, or any of ascension. They feel crappy because all their insecurities come up. Okay? And so insecurities look good when you're healing them. They look awful when you're seeing them. 3D, 4D frequency people, they follow fancy man and woman in suits, and then they go out and they do the squirrel from Cusco land, great. Victim blamer, martyr superior. And those are territorial, has healthy boundaries, and then unhealthy. And the unhealthy and the grandiosity on both sides of his scale, one we have avoidant, one we have anxious. Then on the shame, we got avoidant, anxious. So avoidance walled off, anxious are super frantic. Best way I can bring it to you is whenever a healthy other meets any of them, we don't give a shit. And we don't play their game. When we see them playing games, they look like the squirrel from Cusco land with Cusco and no Pacha and Pinocchio on the island with the drinking and the drugging and the fucking. So hangover, mean girls, put it all in there. And then bring on Yzma and Kronk's couple, whatever they're doing, okay? And then bring in every movie that allows damsels in distress and all that push-pull bullshit to happen. Beating each other up, torture chamber shit, all the nightmare, put it all in there. Put all the lust, visceral shit in there, okay? Any person who doesn't go and get healed is going to play out all that. This is not the 5D frequency. And so what they're going to do when the 5D frequency comes up, their shit hits the fan, they do maladaptive karma wheel, shame, blame, fall, revenge, and they play it all over. And then you just see them on Pinocchio's island as they turn into donkeys. Okay, great. So when we see that, we don't have pity. That's disrespectful. We know we're not here to affect each other's states of consciousness because ego is in the lead. And anyone who has a blind one has a distorted psyche and follows a man and a woman in fancy suits that perpetuate shame and bullshit. And they follow them because these same people say, don't go to the new therapists and the new healing methodologies. Come to us because they're trying to keep you trapped because they're teaching you how to be equanimous and non-reactive. And it's dangerous to show no emotion. No, it's not. Actually, it's beautiful. So when you're an empowered person, you know what it means to have the capacity to show no emotion. I've been told I was emotionless as a teenager because I told women, young women, I said, why are you whining? You're going to find someone. There's 8 billion people. Okay, good. So authenticity. Let me share with you some fun stories. My teenage boyfriend, people who judge him and all my friends from that time, they shouldn't because I don't. However, people think that those of us who are empowered with our emotional, mental, and physical plane don't have emotions. They don't understand what empowerment looks like or feels like. I know both. Therefore, you do mindfulness, mindset, and mindset if you want to. You don't have to. That's what self-help is for. This is what your mentor and content creator and podcast host is for. In 5D frequency, we don't bullshit. So we don't do facades, which is why we learn how to play with facades and have a good time because there's bountiful of Pinocchios out there. And so with that, my teenage boyfriend didn't do anything different that any other person who's a liar, pants on fire has done. And even recently, funny stories of human being men. So ladies, no matter how many times you can consistently, I've seen women not be consistent. You remember the squirrel from Cusco land? Bring it in. Okay, and when I've seen that, and I've tried to address it with the women friends, how dare you take his side? Don't you know what men are? I know what men are. They're human. I know what women are. They're human. And I know what I saw and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. If you want somebody to take your squirrel behavior side and be a victim, no, I'm not. I don't do lying. I am authentically Maria, not picking a side, telling you what I see. I see structural dissociation. I see that you sound like a man who's wanting to use that you're wearing a skirt because when women say they were buttoning up their pants and their shirt, they were leading me on. I'm thinking of when women and men, right? The whole, you were wearing a skirt, what are you wearing? He said, she said, so women, men, and theys that are 5D, we care about all. I learned how I care about humans, which is why any man that wants to allow themselves to be still not addressing things, the ones who do, they get crapped on, but they're appreciated. Women appreciated. The ones who pretend, how dare you say that? You can hear it in the tone. They go all over the place. I'm standing up for justice. Sure you are. You need to shout it like that. I can tell that you're doing, I forgave. I'm a forgiver. Okay, so pretenders are quite clear because their energetic imprint is a small one, and they really want to make sure you hear them. Some of us, we don't need you to hear us. Okay, so authenticity is when you're shining and your voice is an angelic attunement and it supports the expansion of all. So when I see anything that I see, if I can chime in, I do whenever I have, and I have facades because they don't go to therapy, they don't hear it. And that's actually the very textbook what Patrick Tiahan shares. He says, hello, hello. No, I'm hello, hello. He shares to his lovely community, you cannot heal your childhood trauma with the holistic methodologies. And he's correct. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm a mindfulness practitioner. I'm a personal development support coach, consultant. You won't disengage from your insecure attachment default methodologies, mechanisms, because your 1-year-old and 3-year-old are navigating it like the back of their hand, and you lack the self-awareness of your body, and you lack the ears to hear constructive feedback / criticism because your ears don't want to hear. Your bell is off. Ding, 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 ding. You are off. You date and want and play a push-pull, lustful, yucky, small energy from an insecure place. The only reason women follow that woman and man, if they follow them to a T like they're gods, is because they didn't hear how they're speaking. A man who's a real man, the minute he hears this man on screen say, men won't text you back because once they fuck you a second after, they have contempt and disgust towards you and shame. A man who has ears will say, wow, that was really unnecessary, not helpful, and what's the conclusion? How are we going to fix this dude? Because I thought you want to set an example. You didn't give anything. You just shamed someone on screen, and really what you did is create a shit show for potential insecure women. For man, I don't know what you did, except for maybe have them feel ashamed of themselves. You still didn't give them a solution to that, though. So are they going to go drink it off after? Are they going to go fuck it off? Who knows? But in your 1 minute, you did shit. The lovely woman, women, come. Remember, if they fuck you, I don't want you to think. I already know you're thinking it. Wedding bells. And you hear all these women laughing. And I know my lovely regular viewers are like, why again? Because we need to share this one because some are new people. She, I guess, hoped she'd get married every time she fucked someone. Oh, and then she says, I told my women, I know you learned how to have to make it on your own, but you need to let him open the door. Give him a meaning. Yeah, good boy is what I'm doing. So, long story short, those are facades for you. They didn't go heal. That's why she's against all the new therapy stuff. And him. And there you go. So if you want, no, you're here. If you're here still, that means you got good ears. So when a person has good ears, they hear that, they say, what are you doing? You're perpetuating ancient history. And that's great, right? That it is ancient history for the 5D frequency. So when the ascension energies come up, those of us who are navigating authenticity, we're on a high because our inner child is an adult. So you don't have rejection, abandonment, injustice, betrayal, humiliation, or shame wounds. You are being yourself and you have a voice that is authentic. All your emotions, all your opinions, all of it is playful. So if somebody doesn't like you, you're okay. You say, thank you so much. I'm amazed at our journey. And here we go. Poly secure. I'm going to read to you because the insecure attachment person is the one who doesn't know themselves. In fact, they retreat into their self and they have a lost sense of self. So they don't really know how to be their self. If they're with anyone, they go in a mesh. And so again, if you're healing yourself, it won't happen because your therapist will spot stuff for you, help you to reclaim core, narrative, relational, and soul self and become a whole self. And that's because they care about your well-being. I do too, which is why I mention it. So with our channeled guidance, it is for those who are owning, observe, witness, and narrate your own sense of self. That's why you can live a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self. So it will be supportive And it will, in fact, resonate with people who love life and how they are. The ones who will say, no, they don't enjoy life. It's okay. I understand. My heart goes to them, and they will follow the Zen master and content that gives them a pain point, not the IHP content. So whenever I see this, I know it's somebody that doesn't love life and that they disagreeing with opinions, though doesn't, duh. I mean, I'm Maria, you're you, but the channeled guidance is not meant to share with you how to think. It's food for thought, stories with the message. So authenticity is what you're learning to be, and it's not Maria, but okay? So I know my community gets it. The insecure attachment person, they don't know their self, so they get touchy about things because their ego is blind and sensitive. So what they could do is go to therapy, know that our 14-month-old is still a part of us, and none of our thoughts or feelings are irrefutable facts. I do know that about it, me. That's why whenever anybody gives me this, I'm like, cool, we have different opinions. I see you don't like mine. Okay, I'm gonna go have fun with people. I don't know what. So people that are insecure, they also need guidance on how to claim their authentic needs and get to know them. Also preferences and desires. They know shit about their self. Okay, so that's why therapy. And once they've claimed it, when I see them romanticizing their not healthy self-worth, I realize that they're just making show yourself. They want a mantle. So again. That's not the work that you do with the therapist. You do when you see authentic healing, you'll know it because they're healing and they say, it's not fun to enmesh and to not have a sense of self. Like Kylie, she shares both for borderline, it's not fun. I forget how she calls it, but also for narcissism, she says it's not fun. So she's healing and says, don't make it sound like, oh my God, no, it's not. Because you're totally feeling fucked up yourself, or however it is, I forget, but she has at least 2 shorts, and she takes authentically responsibility, and she is very upset sometimes because of realizing that she won't be able to make up what happened in the past with some people, because she did hurt some people's feelings in a way that they don't have room for and want to forgive. And I feel sad. I feel sad for Kylie because you can tell she's healing and she really is doing what she can. And as Dr. Daniel Fox says, people who are healing, like Kylie, they need healthy others who won't use characterological distinctions and judgments, meaning cast a stone when they do have moments where they fall back. It's okay. And when Kylie will meet healthy others, she'll know them because they won't make her flaws, I have flaws too, out to be a evil, bad person. It will be, hey, Kylie, what's up? Are you in a mood again? It depends. It depends what kind of level of depth of relationship. But see, here's where when you're authentic, you tell people immediately who you are, not later. People who don't do that, that's their choice. But people who create true relationships, we like to have people know who we are. And so, for example, I'm going to share in a minute. Just want to finish. Again, remember, so insecure people, they don't know how to self-attune, self-regulate, or self-soothe in healthy ways. They turn to distraction, deflection, or avoidance. So what you'll notice around a full moon and a new moon is that people and all of the ascension energies, people who are insecure, they continue to do this push, pull, lust, all things that are not empowering, because they don't choose to go and work on their mental, emotional, and physical inner world. They can keep doing life. That Kylie does life. She's building roots because she's taking herself seriously, you see? And so she's going to present herself authentically. The ones who are going to continue to navigate the 4D, 3D frequency, they live a fearful life of a nervous system that will continue to feel helpless, hopeless, and a victim. So they don't gain a relationship with their higher self. They don't become their sacred soul sister. So again, I'm integrating food for thought with channeled guidance, but I'm starting to go grab more of our channeled guidance as we continue. Internal attachment healing is needed for the heart of secure functioning to become possible and then take root in our relationships. Even in the most remarkable secure relationships, being together forever is not a given. And that's a truth. We know someone might just choose to leave. And what are you going to do when that happens? Well, For the polysecure person, we're going to be okay because we know how to stand on our own 2 feet securely and know how to be our own safe haven and secure base. And so we have internal secure attachment. The ones who go to therapy, they get earned, and that's when they will know how to live, for example, the solo polyamory community. We are not couple-centric driven. We build our life according to our 24 hours, and basically there's also non-hierarchical and relationship anarchy status, because at the end of the day, I mean, really, giving hierarchy, that's just mean. Anarchy, because once you grow up enough, you don't think of relationships with titles, and that's where age does make a difference, I'm going to say. What I love seeing is the securely attached person being able to have a healthy relationship. So securely attached people, they can be monosecure, monoamorous, and securely attached. And let me read to you the other message that came through. This one was yesterday, but it's still part of today. Okay, so we're going to read Rumi, Sacred Soul Sister. So you are authentically yourself. If you are still here, I'm presenting again food for thought and channel guidance. The message is your authenticity. You're settling into it. Is amazing, isn't it? And so you're your own higher self. And in fact, you're mastering now your the physical mastery of you being your own divine feminine. And that's because you can nurture your inner nervous system. Like when I have my panic attacks, does it mean it's fun? No, but I can do it. I still have fun. Yes, it sometimes gets boring to be to get all fuzzy, but it's something that I get. So like I'm getting ready for a trip, and every time that happens before the trip, I begin to get all excited. Like Dr. Daniel says, I need to remember his words. It's eustress, Maria. Yes, it is Dr. Dan. Okay, so it's still annoying because see, this is the part of where you feel helpless, hopeless, because you get in a nervous system that feels all fuzzy. Ungrounded is the word that they would use. I'm not ungrounded. I just know the difference of when I'm getting excited and when instead I'm calm. And you know, you can get a panic attack for overwhelm of positive emotions. That when that happened to me the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. I was like, at least if it's with, you know, I don't know, fear of whatever, it's like, okay, but for positive, so you can get, your window of tolerance can get overwhelmed for positive things. Damn it. So anytime a depth of emotion, you get to, so this is also expansion of your light body. If you're a mystic, you're going to know this. So for me, I knew that my energy body was expanding because every time we have ascension energies, that happens. So even now with the full moon, I can feel it. I'm totally, yesterday and today, it always, sometimes it's easier, other times it depends, but because we will have memory. So my stored memory are of all the panic attack times. And so it gets easier, but the mind still has the imprint because it's trying to keep you safe. This is why your body never betrays you. What betrayed you was nothing. Well, your loved ones betrayed you, but your family, if there's any trauma, they don't know either sometimes. So let's remember to take accountability, responsibility for ourselves and regulate. And then with family, it's a personal thing. When we have family that cares, you'll see them all take the trauma stuff seriously. When you see the ones who they don't take criticism well, that's where the person who's in charge of their own life will decide what they can do and how they can handle that, right? Some people, they can handle it because they want to. Others, they don't want to be in vicinity and they choose to say no. Okay, so that's where it depends on the person. But again, sacred soul sister, when you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. This is Rumi. When you are conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you are depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. I love you. I am your other self. I am with you always, your partner on this soul journey. I am the you that you do not see. I am the you that speaks through intuition, instinct. I whisper and sing and shout my crazed truth telling to you, truth through your dreams, through your body. I am the you that is wise, that trusts in life, that knows. I am the you that sees reality rather than appearance. I'm the you that knows how to be happy and free. And that is your inner child, adult. Okay, so what you're working on is that, and you have learned how to not be burdened by your emotions and your dreams, and to use the mindfulness practices, your hermit mode, while you are doing life. Okay, so your intuition is spot on for what you want to build, and you've closed those karma wheels, and that means the disconnect from your heart and body and your mind. So that's why your higher self is here, and you are in fact not waiting anymore. You know how to be balanced and bring forth that which you want to create, and no more self-sabotage. So no more big tower moments, but instead you're building with momentum what you want, having transmuted all that has taken place in the past from a mind that has found the capacity to bring in the inner growth and to be your own chariot. So wielding away that mind you are, and here's your divine masculine. So divine masculine, the left and right integration, and you know exactly what you want to build. You want to build what is something that is truth, that stands the test of time, but not with the cold of ice. No, with the nice fun night with all those emotions, and you plan on investing the time it takes to build it. So you know how to use the ego with the mature ego self, and not a blind one who has an inner critic or an outer critic. And that is really fun. And one moment, we're going to conclude in a couple. I need to organize because I might have some more episodes for you later. So you don't have a disowned self, okay? You have a self that is the child and is playful. And so you, you have taken all of the shadow parts, that human psyche, and whatever it is that did come up. I'm needing to find the card. Where is it? Whatever it is that came up from your detour. Remember we talked about detour? Yeah. So your shadow parts, whatever was hidden that needed healing, is what came up with whatever detour took place in this past year. And you are, in fact, appreciative of the hidden treasures that came forth, because that is where the humanity of you is what came forth, meaning that which is, give me 1 second, I planned it on purpose with the pages because of the messages fitting. So the lower world, all that was in subconscious and conscious, you've made sense of emotions that have come up. You've made sense of what life brought to you and what was taken. It wasn't taken in a way that was a negative. Again, the detour is a detour for a reason. It's not a real detour. And some of you are masculines who have been able to, in fact, take ownership of that mind and the subconscious, the emotions. And so they don't overwhelm you. You've learned non-reactivity and how to use the beauty of the mind and the beauty of yourself and your past in a way that allows you to bring forth what comes from your ancestors with honor. So you know how to use your inner child trauma story to help other people to not make the same mistakes you did. Some of you with relationships, some of you with philosophy, career, I don't know your story. But you know that everything that our lovely ancestors did that wasn't part of love, it doesn't haunt us, because we know how to do what is right, which is to know how to talk about trauma at this point, and how there's no evil monsters possessing anyone, that there are people, and the ones who have, for example, insecure, non-secure attachment categories, and then disorganized attachment categories, and then they have dissociative identity disorder or dissociative disorders, personality disorders, borderline narcissism, the whole group. We know that there's a whole bunch of good therapists out there ready to support them, and the holistic practitioners work with the good therapists because we work as a team. Then we have those who tell you not to do any of it, and they are leading for the 3D, 4D frequency of those who are playing a very different game and they don't have to play the game that we play, because as long as they follow the law, what game we play is that all you need is love, authenticity. All you need is love, love, all you need. Okay, so I'm not gonna sing it all, but there's nothing you can do that can't be done, nothing you can sing that can't be sung, nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy, and there's nothing you can make that cannot be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. That depends on what we think about, but you get the drift. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you. In time, it's easy, and nothing you can know that isn't known, nothing that you can see that isn't shown. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. Love is all you need. So anytime there's any detour, the 5D collective knows that it's not a detour. It's something and someone and a bunch of things that served the purpose of you to become the authentic version, at least here for the 5D frequency people. The 5D collective are healthy others. So we know that we all can make mistakes, but like Pacha with Cusco, we know that every human being has a heart. So it's a sad story to see fancy man and women in suits, because you know that they didn't get healed, but some people, they get online and say, it's fucking boring to be in well-being, or I found it hard to believe in the first 2 years of life. So anyone who's deflecting the important trauma information doesn't want to do it. It's okay, they don't have to, as long as, again, they follow the laws. That's where the law is. The law helps us to stay protected, and we try to vote and do things so that we can have a world that our future generations can be in. Air, water, food, our authentic needs. Relationships, yes, with healthy others. We don't do Diego's family. No, Diego's family is done by Diego, the squirrel, Cusco, no Pacha, no Manny, no Sid. You get the drift, right? So again, sharing love and sharing life mindfully and spiritually. It's you being yourself authentically. It's a whole heart. We don't cast characterological distinctions or judgments. So when I'm around facades, I have a good time. I don't tell them, I'm not lecturing them. Not a martyr, not a superior. I'm playful. My mind is wise. I can see clearly now. The rain has gone. There's no ever obstacles. None of your twin flames, soulmates, nobody's an obstacle. We have healthy boundaries. We know how to use mindfulness, the 3 pillars of the mind, focusing attention and awareness. My emotions come up. Kind intentions. Zen master doesn't know how to do it. We know how to be loyal to what we love, but we're also knowing self-worth. Magic works through us and through our healed self. And so we go and create very much deep, beautiful conversations with the people that we love. And we enjoy building a home, mer home, snow home. We build homes together. So the authentic you is ready for your next steps. And it's an honor to see you here. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, subscribing, and that is if you do love to do daily and often mindfulness, mindset, and mindset practices, and if you know somebody else who does self-help, personal development, to be their self, and to have fun with a woo-woo lady who loves Jesus and God, although I'm not loved by all that talk to you about God and Jesus, but I know I love. From nothing to everything, the impossible made possible, a new gown. That's what happens when you're a consistently integrated brain, restorative embodiment self, securely attached 1-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, whole year-old. So we will be back with more maybe later, maybe not. In the meantime, thank you again for stopping by.